What is going on, everyone? On today's show, we've got a big news roundup, including Gears of War is coming to PlayStation in an unprecedented second remaster release. Also, some great news for Clair Obscur fans, with the game's performance massively outdoing its other competitors. Pretty cool. And an update regarding customization of the Switch 2. Plus, today we'll talk about all the games I've been playing, the push to 50 goals for the unlocking of the Viewer's Choice Marathon, and more. It's a great day, and it's time to sit back and relax. Here we go. It's time for the Level 1 Podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo!
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm DSP. This is the Level 1 Podcast for Monday, the 5th of May, 2025, also known as Cinco de Mayo for those who celebrate the holiday. I hope that you're having a great day. Personally, it's Monday for me. It's not that big of a deal. I don't really do much for Cinco de Mayo. I'm not even eating Mexican today. Well, actually, technically I could, because I think we might have turkey tacos for dinner. Just thought of that. I'm like, wait a minute. Just complete chance, too. Like, it's not like we planned it like that. Anyway, welcome to the show. How is everyone today? I hope that you're all doing well, and that you are ready for some fun today. We have a lot to talk about, okay? And one thing I think should move this mic, it seems to be like its positioning is good for audio, but it's blocking me, right? So maybe I should move it back a little bit. It hasn't been exactly right since I played Call of Duty a couple days ago. Let's see if I finagle this. Let's see if I do this. That a little better, and then I could position it like this. That's actually a little better. Probably sounds just as good, right? Okay. Anyway, welcome to the show. And I hope that you all are doing well. Great streaming week so far. 2 days down, 5 more days to go. I told you, this is a 5-day monstrous streaming week for me. 7-day monstrous streaming week for me. 5 more to go. And stuff has been going really good so far the first 2 days, with support, with momentum, everything. Yesterday was a great streaming day where we continued on with Clair Obscur Expedition 33 on the first stream. The game got even better. Plot advancement, great side content, still awesome combat, unlocking more and more. Everything's been great. I have zero complaints about the game. I literally can't wait to play it. The thing is, we've got so many good games I'm juggling right now. I would say between Clair Obscur, Blueprints, and Oblivion Remastered, we've got 3 top-notch primo games that I'm juggling right now. And that's a good thing, obviously, right? Obviously. But FYI, it can be tricky being a content creator right now, because if I'm juggling all this stuff, I can't really play too much of anything at one given time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I just play Clair Obscur, people will complain that it's too much of the same game and stop showing up and be angry that I'm not playing the other game. So I hope you understand that I am doing my absolute best to juggle everything. And we're going to have big progress in all of these games this week, okay, regardless of the fact that I can't necessarily play them every single stream. But that's going well. Last night, we had a late-night chill stream of Minecraft Java Edition, and I got to play with mods for the first time ever. We actually got the graphical mod, the shader mod working, and we tried 2 different versions of the shader mod. One just basically added a whole bunch of lighting that wasn't present originally in the game. The other made the game hyper-realistic. It actually made realistic clouds in the sky, and it also made it so that there was actual realistic rippling water, which was just wild as hell. It blew me away. I was like, what the? So, What a crazy day yesterday of gameplay and fun, and we hit our goals. We're currently at 47 out of 50 goals. Now, yesterday on this show, we actually set up the polls on which you guys are currently voting for viewers' choice. Allow me to show you how those polls are set up. So if you want to vote on the games for viewers' choice, head right over here to the posts tab on the DSP Gaming channel. And if you scroll down, you will see the two polls. As you can see, over 1,200 votes on poll number 2, 1,100 votes on poll number 1. I'm not looking at them yet, but you still have a minimum of 24 hours to vote on what you'd like to see in the marathon. We're probably going to end up playing 4 games during the marathon. Typically, that makes sense because each game we play for about an hour. Some games we might play a little more. Some games we might play a little less. It all depends on how well received they are. And I like the variety because some of these games, for example, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Berserker Kazan, Truck Simulator, Mountain Blade 2. I don't even know what these games are. Maybe some of these would actually turn into full fun playthroughs, right? But then we've got games like Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door that I've always wanted to play and never got around to. Counter-Strike 2 I've already played. Might be fun to just jump into it again like 10 years later and see what it is. And of course, you all want to torture me with Lost Records Tape 2. I played Lost Records Tape 1, and I found it to be the worst narrative-based game I ever played. It was so incredibly boring, poorly paced, and nothing happened until the last half hour. It really sucked. Maybe Tape 2 is different. I don't know. I already have it because I bought the whole game, and it is out. It's been out for like weeks now. So I have no clue. I actually have not followed along at all. So that way, if I ever did get back to it, perhaps I would be surprised, pleasantly surprised. I mean, I doubt it, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so anyway, please vote. You have at least 24 hours left in order to vote to determine what we will be playing during that marathon. Now, the way it works is simple. Well, the marathon is happening as soon as we hit 50 goals. We have 3 to go. We're at 47. All right. Each goal is $150 of revenue when it comes to super chats, memberships, gifted subs, and regular subs on Kick, and also tips. So if you support the streams today and we hit 50, we're doing the marathon tomorrow, which I think would be absolutely perfect. I think it would fit perfectly. Like I said, it would be great because it's the exact middle of the week. So if we break up the week with the marathon tomorrow, then that would mean that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday can be standard regular streaming days. And that'd be great, right? I think so. That way the second half of the week is kind of like continuing on with everything that we want to do with all the games and the progress that we've been working on, okay? So please support the streams. Let's get that momentum going. Notably, on Kick, it is Monday, and we've got an actual decent amount of gifted subs this week, which I'm happy about. It looks like we have almost 30 gifted subs already. Actually much better pacing than last week. So thank you for that. Anyone over on Kick who's been watching or supporting, I appreciate that. Let's get some support going. Let's get our first super chat, our first membership, our first tip, and our first sub. Let's get some shout outs and let's get some momentum going. If we hit a goal on this podcast, that would be perfect because then we can focus on the game and try to figure out if we can get another goal for the game and maybe another one tonight for Indies night. And then we'll be doing the marathon tomorrow. I would like nothing more than to do the marathon tomorrow. I think that would be amazing. Okay. So speaking of which, our first contribution did come in. I received a $10 super chat from Lynn Pines, who says, Phil, I'm not a huge fan, but I wanted to know when or if you'll ever get around to playing Security Breach or even the Help Wanted games. VR is not needed, just out of curiosity. So Five Nights at Freddy's, correct? For those who don't know, 2 months ago, I did a Five Nights at Freddy's marathon event. I called it the Five Nights at Freddy's Torture-thon. And the reason I did is because up to that point, I had never actually played Five Nights at Freddy's seriously. Instead, I had just kind of razzed the games, said I don't understand why people like them. And once or twice, I had played one of them during a marathon. Like during a Halloween marathon, once I played one. And then I think I had played 1 and 4, if I remember correctly. So since I had set the time to actually sink into Five Nights at Freddy's during a marathon, okay, I said this time around, I am going to give them a fair shot. Rather than sit here and crap on them insanely like I usually do, let's actually judge it at their own merits and see if they're any good. And after having played 1 through 4 during that marathon, I came to the conclusion that the games are entertaining and the games are fun for a certain audience looking for a certain kind of game, but absolutely the insane amount of overhyping that they have received over the years is unwarranted. They don't need a movie, okay? There don't need to be 7,000 lore videos about game theories about it. It's ridiculous. And as I said, I really feel that what happens with certain game franchises is now, with the era of the online content creator, people who overemphasize or over-exaggerate the value of a game for personal gain, like the screamer streamers who say, "Oh, it's the scariest game ever." Oh, they scream every 5 seconds they're playing it. And then you got someone who insanely overanalyzes the games and creates a bunch of mumbo-jumbo nonsense around them to create this weird culture. And now everyone wants to talk about the lore of a game that's made in someone's basement on Flash or something. You know what I'm saying? Basically, we're in a really weird time for gaming. All right. Anyway, I thought that the games actually were pretty good. Okay. Just not as good as everyone had overhyped them to be. And so I said, hey, maybe in the future, I would replay Five Nights 1 or Five Nights 4. Those were the two that I liked the best out of the first 4 games. I thought that 2 it wasn't very good, to be honest. And then 3 was actually quite bad. And then 4, no, actually not 1 and 4, 1 and 5. That's right. I played all 5 because I get them confused. 4 was the one in the bedroom. 5 is the one, was it Sister Location? That's right. So I liked 1 and 5 the most out of all of them. And I said that maybe one day I would go back to play them because 1 I had almost beaten. So maybe I would beat 1. And then 5 was interesting because the further you get in, there's lore and there's all this stuff going on. So I said maybe I would play them again. Okay. So what Lynn Pines is asking, would I ever play Security Breach or the Help Wanted games? So those, I believe, are ones even after Sister Location, correct? We're talking about like the most latest ones. I don't think I would play those unless I actually go back and play 1 and 5 again. Because what's the point of playing the later iterations if I haven't even beaten a single game yet? And I feel like people have told me that with 5, Sister Location, that's when the games got insanely lore heavy because they had become so virally popular because of YouTubers and the like. That's when, like, you need to know the story. If you don't know the story, you're kind of out of the loop on stuff that's going on. So I wouldn't want to play like 6 or 7 if I didn't finish 5. You see what I'm saying? So if I were to go back to Five Nights at Freddy's, I'd probably do 1 and 5. And then after that, maybe then I would play the later ones. I don't think I would go back to 2, 3, and 4, quite honestly. I think that 5 is where they hit that stride where there's a mix of story and it interests me. Okay, cool. So thank you for the first contribution to the stream. So we're at $10 now. Guys, let's get some motivation and let's get some momentum going. Let's get our first tip of the day. Let's get our first sub over on Kick, and let's get our first membership on YouTube, and then let's get that momentum going so that we can actually hit our goals. In fact, I'm just going to do it right up front. Today, since I want to hit 3 goals by the end of the stream, I'm just going to make those sub offers over on Kick early so that it's known. For 10 gifted subs today on Kick, you will earn the VIP badge. For 20 gifted subs on Kick, you will earn the OG badge. And then, this deal I made last night, for 30 gifted subs on Kick, you will earn a second OG badge that you can give to someone. Okay? And I just started that last night. I'm going to do it today because I want to hit 3 goals by the end of today. I want to do the marathon tomorrow. It would fit in with everything that's going on schedule-wise and everything perfectly. All right? So let's do it. I'm going to actually type that and post it up over there. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to pin that message. So that's going to be pinned over there. And hopefully, hopefully, we will be able to hit 3 goals today. I really hope so. Like I said, the marathon tomorrow would be absolutely perfect. It looks like the ghost got rotated. It doesn't look straight. There we go. I was gonna say the crown didn't look straight, and then I saw like a side on the edge. There we go. Uh, Cage says, where did I get the Pac-Man ghost? I just got it at a random store, but you can buy it online. In fact, if you look at any of my recent videos, Level 1 podcasts or daily raps, you will see in the description of the video a product area. This is something new that YouTube started doing. So the things that you see here, the ghost, the microphone, the Divum Pixu 64 frame, the Piranha Plant Lego, you can actually buy those using the affiliate links that are on those videos. And if you do, I make a little bit of affiliate revenue on it. Okay. So if you like the ghost lamp, check out either yesterday's Level 1 podcast or daily rap right here on the channel. Look at the links. And if you buy it through there, you help me out. Okay. Cool. Because Cade was asking about the ghost lamp, saying, hey, where'd you get that ghost lamp? There you go. Okay. So good stuff. So what's the deal? What are we doing today? What are we doing tomorrow and the rest of the week? Let's talk. So today, I'm very excited for today's streams. First off, after this fun Level 1 podcast where we're going to be talking about a bunch of game news, it's the return of Blueprints. Okay? Blueprints, I've absolutely loved playing over the last month. You guys turned me on to this game in early April. I didn't even know it existed. And so I started playing it, and I was like, wow, it's a roguelike, but it's a puzzle game with exploration. It's just completely unique. Like, wow, what a unique formula. What a unique game. So I've really, really enjoyed Blueprints. I can't wait to play it more today. I played it mostly for a day stream, but then for the last week and a half, I put it onto night streams. Why? Well, because we had Oblivion Remastered and Claire Obscure, and they took over as the daytime streams. Well, I got some feedback, and the feedback was not positive at all. Basically, the feedback is thus. There's been a group of people who have enjoyed Blueprints, have been watching it when it was a day stream and supporting it as a day stream, but they can't make it to the late streams, notably some people over in Europe. And I get that. In Europe, my late streams are like middle of the morning for you, right? I doubt that you're up at like 4 a.m. to watch Blueprints live anyway, right? So, because of all that, we have seen a distinct dropping of engagement, viewership, and support for Blueprints. In fact, the last time I played Blueprints was the first time ever we did not hit the support goal for it. And that's disheartening and disappointing because I don't think it's representative of the game. In fact, the last stream, we had the best Blueprint stream ever. We discovered a whole secret underground area under the mansion with all this stuff to explore, puzzles, lore, all this crazy stuff. It was super entertaining. But we had the fewest amount of people there for it and the least amount of support for it. And I was like, oh, man. So today, we are bringing back Blueprints to the daytime stream. I hope this means we will have more people sticking around, engaging and supporting with the game. I hope that means we hit the support goal today. All right? It's very important today because we want to do the marathon tomorrow. We have to hit our goals. Okay? So, Blueprints on the day stream. I'm excited. We're starting off the best run ever. Number one, I have a room outside of the mansion that gives me incredible amounts of buffs and support when I use it. For example, last run, I was able to open up diamond doors with footsteps instead. Oh my God, did that help? We ended up opening up like all the rare rooms in the mansion. In addition, I froze my assets in the freezer, which means now I'm going to have tons of coins, tons of diamonds, everything for this next run. So I am super excited for this run. I think it's going to go really, really good. So I hope you'll stick around, engage, and support with Blueprints. It's going to be a great stream today. Okay? Now, tonight on my late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it's the return of Indies Night. We haven't done a formal Indies Night in a month and a half because instead of Indies, I've been doing Disco Elysium. Okay? But Disco Elysium has finally sputtered out. The last time I played it, no one showed up, no one engaged, and it was the lowest support stream I've had in many, many months. So I said, I think it's time to move on from Disco Elysium. So, tonight on an indie stream, we have 3 options for indie games that we can play. Option number 1, we return to Balatro for the first time since like January, February, whenever it was the last time I played it. I love Balatro. It's a spin on poker with various, variations. Again, it is a roguelite, and I think it's a great game. It's for some people. If you don't like uh, poker, you're probably not going to like it, right? But I think it's a great game. Number 2, Schedule 1, a game that everyone a month ago was playing and talking about. Now it's like it never existed. Like you hear no one talking about it anymore. But people wanted me to play it so badly. I played it during my birthday marathon a month ago. And quite honestly, I thought it was interesting. Obviously, crappy graphics or whatever, but the gameplay elements were sound. I mean, it's kind of silly that you're a drug dealer, but it was entertaining. I did find it good, good to play. But I only played it for around 45 minutes to an hour. Then we ran out of time, and I teased over the month of April that we would maybe do a stream of it. We never got around to it. So maybe we can actually focus on that for once, okay? Or another game that has come up that I would be totally okay with, okay? During the nominations and the voting here for the Viewer's Choice Marathon, a game sadly slipped through the cracks. Apparently, there were 2 separate posts nominating it, but I didn't see the second one. It's called Dave the Diver. It's an indie game that has pixel graphics, but apparently has all kinds of different gameplay mechanics, an interesting story. A lot of people over the years have asked me if I would ever play it, and I kept saying, maybe we'll get around to it, we'll see, but we never did, right? So, I would like to try one of those 3 tonight, but I'm not sure what. And I don't know if you guys have any ideas of what I should do tonight here on the stream, or maybe we should just wait and then tonight see who shows up for the late stream and see what people want on the late stream. I'm down for any 3 of those, or any of them sound good. But obviously, I want people to show up and engage and support with that stream. Again, the idea here is to hit the goals, 3 goals today, so we can do the marathon tomorrow. All right? So hopefully, everyone in chat seems to be saying Dave the Diver. I was just told that Dave the Diver has Ichiban DLC. You mean Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon is in it? Really? I know Dave the Diver is like really popular. Like tons of people have played it and like it, and I never got around to it. It seems like everyone is saying Dave the Diver. Seriously? All right, maybe we'll do that. I mean, again, I'd be down for it. It's something completely unique and different that I've never played before that people have always asked for. So maybe now is the time. Okay. What's a roguelite? Well, there's a roguelike and a roguelite. A roguelike game entails that there's a game that when you do a run in it, it is a completely isolated run from other runs, meaning when you lose or die or end a run, it resets back to 0 and you start over. Okay. Usually there's a random factor to it, an RNG factor to it that you cannot control. Okay. Which adds to the element of each run being completely unique and different from the last one that you've done. That's a roguelike. Okay. Now, a roguelite is a game that takes that element and usually mixes it up and challenges it in a little way. Like, for example, I would call Hades a roguelite because even though it has roguelike elements, there are things that you can permanently unlock and upgrade and have increased chances of happening. Like, same thing, like with Blueprints. I don't know if it's purely a roguelike. It's more like a roguelite because I now have the ability to have money every day and special rooms unlocked every day and things that are permanent unlocks. So, but I don't know. I'm not a master of these or anything. They are growing on me. If you remember, my first roguelike ever was Returnal. And quite frankly, I didn't like it. But now I played a bunch of these like Hades, Blueprints. I like these games now. They've actually grown on me to the point where I'm really enjoying them. Let's see here. What's going on, King Michael? Good to see you here today. Reno Hart says, I was crushed to see that Dave the Diver wasn't in nominations. Yes, this would make a great future playthrough. Jay Copter, yes, I can see you. How you doing? Dabhand says, it does have an Ichiban DLC, but you need to complete at least Chapter 5, so I don't think that we'll ever see it. Wow. Well, what if I play and like it? What if we end up doing a playthrough of it, right? I did play Binding of Isaac. Yes, I did. I played that many years ago, but it wasn't a serious playthrough. I think someone had nominated it for one of these marathons. So because of that, we never really got into it that deep, but I actually really liked Binding of Isaac when I played it. So Can I gift free memberships because there's been a new month? No, I'm going to do it during the marathon, actually. Let me see if they're actually there. They are. 10 gifted memberships are available. I'm going to gift them during the Viewer's Choice event. Okay? So we'll get some hype hopefully tomorrow. But guys, I'm going to tell you right now, we got to get some support going. We only got one super chat. Let's get some support. Come on. Who's going to be the first sub over on Kick today? Someone drop a gifted sub. Let's get our first membership on YouTube. And how about a tip? We have no tips today. Let's get that momentum rolling so we can do the marathon tomorrow. All right? Because I'm going to tell you, here's the deal with what's going on tomorrow and the rest of the week. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. You ready? Tomorrow, there will not be a level 1 podcast. That's correct. And I'm sorry about that. Tomorrow, there's some stuff going on that I can't control, that I can't be here for a podcast. All right? My goal is to be here as soon as possible to start streaming gameplay. However, I can't actually even guarantee you the moment that I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm hoping that at the latest, I hope I can be here by 1 p.m. All right. And we can at least do a normal gameplay stream and a normal late stream. Or if we hit our goals today, it'll just be the marathon. As soon as I get here, I'll probably do like a half an hour intro, have a shot, or maybe drink a White Claw, and then we'll start playing games for Viewer's Choice. Okay. But no podcast tomorrow. I'm going to be busy. All right. But I will be here as soon as I can. I'll tell you exactly when I can be here. And we'll go from there. All right. Basically, it's just factors out of my control. Sometimes in life, especially as you get older, there's things you can't control. And you just got to go with the flow. And that's what's going on right now. Nothing I can do about it. Can't be here for the podcast, but I have every intention of having either 2 normal gameplay sessions or a marathon tomorrow. Okay. So here's the thing. This would be perfect. If we hit our goals today and we do the marathon tomorrow, that's perfect. Because I could start hopefully around 1 p.m. We'll do a little intro. We'll start playing games. It's perfect timing. We'll have some food, some booze. It'll be a great day. That's why I kind of want to do the marathon tomorrow. I don't think anyone's going to miss the podcast if I'm doing a giant gaming marathon anyway. See what I mean? Now, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, my intention is thus. One day I'll do Oblivion Remastered and Call of Duty. One day I'll do Clair Obscur and Minecraft Java Edition with mods. And one day I'll do more Blueprints and a random night where maybe it'll be more indies. Okay? But the order and the actual days, I can't say because I don't know if we're going to hit our goals today and if we're doing the marathon tomorrow or not. Okay? So, because of that, I can't really give you a locked-in schedule. And I know that will annoy some people because you want a locked-in schedule, right? But I can't, as much as I'd like to. So someone is saying breaking news. I want to see if this is true or not. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. There's breaking news that I'll cover on today's show. I just got it set up. Thanks for the heads up there, whoever told me that. Okay. What's up, Toasty Chestnuts? How you doing? Okay. So, all right. So anyway, let's get started with today's show. Let's see how today goes. Obviously, tomorrow I would love to do this Viewer's Choice Marathon. Please vote on the games. I'll keep you abreast of the situation all day, and hopefully we'll get in striking distance of the marathon tomorrow, and then we can lock in a schedule or not. But either way, you're going to see 3 more awesome streaming days of gameplay, plus the marathon. I just don't know what order. Okay? Okay. All right. So we're going to get to game news here, but I've just received an incredibly generous $15 tip from Ian. He said, I'm glad to see Blueprints is now back on the day streams. Thank you, Ian. for a $15 tip. That is our first tip of the day. Ian, I appreciate you coming out for the day stream of Blueprints. I understand because I know that I have an international audience and not everyone can attend every stream because of the time differences. It's just wild because people don't get it. They actually, a lot of content creators have audiences that are more localized. I don't. Like, I've always had this big international audience where like half my viewers are not in the United States. So because of that, some people can only catch certain streams based on that big time difference. And in particular with Blueprints, I noticed that when I changed the streams from night streams to day streams, day streams to night streams, man, the attendance like halved. We were getting between 250 to 300 viewers for Blueprints. And all of a sudden, the last time I streamed it on a night stream, we only had like 150 people. And I was like, oh shit. Like, obviously I screwed up. But the thing is, I can't always keep these games as day streams. The good news is it looks like we're in position to get into the antechamber today. And I've heard that is the ending of the game, although technically that's not the end of the story and you can keep going and unlocking more. But I'm hoping that today we'll get great progress. And again, I'd like to do another day stream of it later in the week. So hopefully between the 2 day streams, we can make significant progress and get towards, big revelations and maybe the end. We'll see. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Okay. I've also just received a $10 tip. What are your thoughts on Echo the Dolphin and Echo the Tides of Time remasters announced alongside a third Echo game? Have you played any of them before? You have spoiled the breaking news. How dare you? There's breaking news that literally just happened and someone told me about it and I was like, oh, I'll talk about it. You spoiled the story. How dare you? Would you like to do that? You know what? How about this? Since you know everything about breaking news, I'm going to let you do the rest of the show. Come on over here, sit down. You could do tipper, $10 tipper. You come do the rest of the show. Here you go. Ready? It's all yours. Here you go. Ah, you see, it's not so easy. You can't get past the moat and the gators and the electric fence that I have around my castle. You understand? Only I can sit on the throne. Anyway, so yeah, it was announced. I was gonna read it, but it's been announced that Echo the Dolphin, Echo 2 are going to be remastered and I guess released in like a collection. And they're actually working on a new Echo game now. But apparently there won't be any concrete information about it for a year because they actually set up a website, echothedolphin.com. If you go there right now, you can check this out. There's a countdown. Echothedolphin.com, 8,531 hours, 49 minutes, and 10 seconds and counting down. Would you like to see it? So 1 year from now, apparently, we're going to get some kind of an update about a new Echo game. That's a long time to wait. That's a hell of a countdown. Holy crap. Let's check back in on that. Okay. So anyway, what's my history with Echo the Dolphin? I never owned it. I never played it, except, excuse me, back in the day when I used to have a pediatric dentist that I went to when I was a kid, okay? So this was like the late 80s probably. Either late 80s or very, very early 90s, okay? I can't remember exactly when. So I was a Nintendo guy. I had a NES and a Super NES, but I went to the dentist and my dentist had an actual Sega Genesis kiosk at the dentist. that the kids could play in the waiting room while waiting for their appointments. And let me tell you, it worked wonders because the kids would gather around this kiosk to play Genesis or watch other kids play Genesis, and it would make the time pass like nothing so that, when it's time for your appointment, it's no big deal. And what game did they have? Echo the Dolphin. That's the game that they actually had on the kiosk. And I saw kids playing it, and it looked neat. It sounded great, but I never actually played it. Okay? When I got my Genesis later, they had passed by the time when they were packaging in Echo the Dolphin, because Echo the Dolphin was a game they packaged in as the game you would get when you bought a Genesis for a bit. But then when Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 came out, they became the games that they would package in with the console, and Echo the Dolphin almost got completely forgotten. Okay? So I never played it, never bought it, nothing. Now, I did play Echo the Dolphin. If you remember, it was part of the Genesis Mini that I got many years ago. And when we played the Genesis Mini, I played all the Sonic games. I played Mega Man Wily Wars. I played a whole bunch of stuff. And actually, I played Echo the Dolphin, and that game sucks ass. It's terrible. It's just funny because I think the reason why all kids remember Echo the Dolphin is because it was the game that was packaged with the Genesis for a long time. So kids just kind of had it, but I don't know if anyone actually actively bought it on purpose. You know what I mean? Like if you play it, it is so annoying. It's the ultimate backtrack game. You got to go all the way to one end of a giant labyrinthian maze of caves and caverns to either rescue a dolphin or hit a key or open a door. Then you got to go all the way back to the other side of the game. It's kind of like Metroid, but not fun in any way, shape, or form. It's really, really tedious and annoying. So I just didn't like it when I actually played it. I hated it. So I would not go back to it, and I probably would not play it. However, if there is a new one that's being made, I would assume that the new one would actually have complex updates, meaning you would think that they would probably have like checkpoints that make sense and modernized gameplay mechanics, because that's the problem with Echo. It's just outdated to the point where there's so much backtracking, repetition, and annoyance that it's not a good game. But perhaps the new one would be much better, right? So that's my history with Echo the Dolphin. You've already spoiled the story, so now I will not talk about it. Actually, hold on one second. Let's check in on that site. Okay, not much happening there. All right. Well, let's move on, shall we? We have a lot of news stories to talk about today, a lot of which are pretty interesting. So let's start off with a news story about something that I had almost predicted, but not really. Let's talk about the Switch 2. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the Switch 2 is actually releasing 1 month from today in the United States. I think it's worldwide, June 5th, correct? 1 month from today, the Switch 2 will be in everyone's hands, and people will be playing with it, unboxing it, dropping it and breaking it, and being crying because they can't get another one right away. People will be messing with it. Probably some people will be trying to jailbreak it. People will be downloading one game on it, Mario Kart World, that's it, because everything else is just a third-party port. There's no reason in playing anything else on it. So everyone will be playing one game and being very excited for it, okay? However, there is something about the Switch 2 that I talked about when they first announced it many months ago. Remember, I think it was like February or whatever they announced it. And the first thing that I said when I was watching the coverage of it, I was like, what color scheme did they go for this thing? Because if you remember, the original Switch is blue and red, which is fine. Blue and red are staple colors, primary colors. Everyone likes them. Red versus blue and everything. It's a good color scheme. Makes sense. The Switch 2 has like periwinkle and like coral, okay? They're really weird off colors from like red and blue. And I said, it's just bizarre to me. I was looking at it like, that can't be the real color scheme they're launching it with, but it is. That's actually what they're launching it with. And I said at that time, you could go back and watch my coverage of that video that we watched of it. There's got to be a way that you're going to be able to buy other colors of it, or customize, because I can't imagine that people are going to want to keep that color. It's ugly. I don't want baby blue and a weird pink. I want like strong colors. Some people might just want an all black Switch. Some people might want like white accents. Some people might want green or, nice accented colors depending on your personal tastes. With the Switch 1, you had to buy a whole new Switch that was colored that way, right? So what are they doing? It's actually been revealed that my prediction was actually dead on correct. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Switch 2 customization. The side panels actually come off the Switch 2 and you can replace them. No one knew this until this morning. Third-party websites started listing actual listings for replacement side panels for them. Okay, so here it is, decorative strips, and they're selling kits with a tool. See, this is the tool that you can use to remove the plastic sides. I don't know what this is. It's probably maybe something to help you push them into place or whatever. So the plastic will pop out, and you'll be able to get other colors. Right now, they're only selling a replacement periwinkle and coral or whatever these colors are. I don't even know what colors you would call them. Okay, but what this confirms is that there's going to be a wide plethora of customization colors available for the Switch 2. I would predict you're going to not only see primary colors, you're going to see all kinds of wild things. You'll probably see things that are themed to games, right? That's good. This is a hearkening back to the Xbox 360 era. If you don't remember, back then, they actually had on Xbox 360 customizable faceplates that would pop on and off. That could be themed to certain games, but also just stylish. They also had stickers and things that you could put on the sides of your Xbox 360 console. Then they actually started selling them also for the PlayStation 3, the stickers. So you could make your console look a certain way. I actually had ones that were all themed to Street Fighter 4. I had 2 Xbox 360s themed to Street Fighter 4, and then I had the stickers for PS3 that were themed to Street Fighter 4. So it really was cool, actually, to set it up and have it look your own personal tastes, right? So for me, I would probably go for like something more stylized, like maybe white, or maybe like like I said, dark blue and an actual red instead of these weird like pastels. But none of them have been up for sale yet, except for the replacement. Okay, so we'll see as we get closer to the launch of Switch 2, or maybe once it's launched, what these companies will do. But yeah, pretty much dead on with what I was predicting, that they're not just going to sell this periwinkle and coral. They're actually going to have other colors because those colors are terrible. In fact, I'll go as far to say I actually think the reason they made these starter colors this way is because they actually intend for you to go buy more colors. They purposely colored it horribly in a weird pastel that's going to annoy you because they want you to go spend more money. I think that's dead on what they're going for. They want people to go accessorize and buy a whole bunch of stuff for their Switch 2. And even if you might say, well, wait a minute, I don't get that. But they're not officially Nintendo branded. This is a third-party item. So why would Nintendo care that you're buying it, right? Well, it's very simple. Because if you're not aware, when people go to buy accessories for anything, they tend to buy more than one. It's actually been well known, well documented. It's even retail sales. If someone goes to the store to buy something for an electronic, a car, whatever it is, they typically will buy a bunch if you can sell them on it. So what they're trying to say, hey, sell this thing with ugly colors. They're immediately going to want to buy new faceplates or side plates or whatever. But also they'll probably buy the stand. They'll buy the charger dock. They'll buy the cable. They'll buy the wrist strap. They'll buy, 10 other things with it. So there you have it. For me, if I get a Switch 2, I would definitely like to change the colors. The thing that gets me, though, what about the thumbsticks? I think those are permanently stuck to ugly-ass colors. I don't want those colors on my thumbsticks either. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just throw out the Joy-Cons again Like I did with Switch 1. I think I played one game on the Joy-Cons of Switch 1. Wasn't it ARMS? That was it. And then after that, I just got rid of them. And I just played on the Pro Controller or a Hori pad or whatever I played on. I never used the Joy-Cons because they were so bad. So maybe I'll just do the same thing with Switch 2. I don't know. If I get one. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, so there you have it. Okay. How's everyone feeling? Dabhan says, no one buys anything Nintendo branded after buying the console. It's all third party. Nintendo makes nothing. What's up, Gabriel? How you doing, man? See, Dabhands, that's not true, though, because, excuse me, initially, usually it's only Nintendo branded stuff that's available when it comes to like controllers and the like. Yeah, there will be third-party controllers, but probably not at launch. I've seen a lot of accessories, but it's all like, you know, a dock for the screen, a screen protector, stuff like that. I haven't seen like another controller because they want to sell their Pro controller. So they're not going to allow anyone to have the knockoff stuff yet. Watch. It'll probably be like the end of the year. All of a sudden, they'll let all the third parties start doing their stuff, right? Cade says the strips are just too thin for me to care about customizing them. Well, I guess you're going to play with your eyes closed because I don't want to stare at those ugly colors all day. I don't. I'm sorry. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. Will the new Switch 2 Joy-Cons actually be good or will they be garbage? Because everyone knows the Joy-Cons on Switch 1 were actual trash. So let's hope for the best, right? Okay. On to the next story for today. Ladies and gents, Gears of War. Probably 3 words you weren't expecting to hear anytime soon. We do know that they're making a new Gears of War game that's going to be a prequel. If you remember, this one is actually supposed to be based on Emergence Day, but it's weird because we haven't heard any updates in regards to this game for a while. We've been waiting and said, where is the updates? Where's the news about this game? There is none. So this morning, there was a shocking revelation, a huge announcement that rocked the foundations of modern gaming and no one expected. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of an overdramatic emphasis. But this morning, there was a Gears of War announcement. Are you ready for this? Ladies and gentlemen, the iconic original returns. Gears of War Reloaded comes to Xbox Series X and S, Windows PC, PlayStation 5, and Steam on August 26th. Read more here, and we will. But wait a minute. Gears of War Reloaded? Wasn't there Gears of War 1? Didn't they already do this? Yes. They already did. Gears of War 1 has already been redone. For those who don't know, Gears of War was a long-running franchise originally made by Epic Games. That's right, the same studio that today is known for Fortnite and the Epic Games Store. They used to make Gears of War, and they made the first 3. Then they did a spin-off that sucked ass and had another company develop it for them. After that, they allowed Gears of War to be bought out completely by Microsoft. And so it's been a different company now called the Coalition that have actually been making Gears of War games since. And they've made 2. I want to say they've made 2. It might be 3, but I'm pretty sure they made 2. They made Gears of War 4 and 5. And there's mixed opinions on this. Some people like them, some people don't. It's kind of the same situation of what happened with Halo, where Bungie made Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, Reach, and then they decided, we're selling this, we're going to do something else. So they sold it to Microsoft. Microsoft has a company called 343 Industries making them, and everyone says, the current Halos are nowhere near as good as the originals, right? So with Gears of War, it's kind of the same deal. Now, Gears of War 1 was already remade. It was during the Xbox One era. So the original Gears of War was an Xbox 360 earlier game. It was groundbreaking. It played incredibly well. It ran at 60 frames per second. It had both a great single-player campaign and an awesome online gameplay experience. I can attest to it. It was one of the games pre-YouTube, before I became a YouTuber, that I played and actively really enjoyed playing online. Okay? Very fun third-person, cover-based shooter, team-based, very fun gameplay, chainsawing the crap out of people. Very, very fun. Good stuff. So, during the Xbox One era, while the Coalition was making new Gears of War games, Microsoft decided they wanted to remake Gears of War 1, and they did. And they called it Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and it included upscaled graphics. The original Gears of War was only 720p. This one was now 1080p. The original Gears of War was only 30 frames in certain situations. Well, now they upgraded it to be like 60 frames. Okay? So there you go. Dabhan says it also added PC content, 5 extra levels, and all later game mechanics. So basically, it massively improved the game. So then what the hell is Gears of War Reloading? Okay? I'll tell you what it is. The original Gears of War returns faithfully remastered and natively optimized for more platforms than ever before. It will be sold on August 26, 2025 for $39.99 on the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox PC, not Windows PC, Xbox PC. Yes, they're calling it that now. Xbox Cloud Gaming, PlayStation 5, and wait. What? PlayStation 5? Yes. Gears of War, for the first time ever, will be on PlayStation 5 come August. And as a special added bonus for Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass subscribers, it will be with Game Pass for free. So, that's good. So, as you can see, Play Anywhere enabled. It will support cross-play and cross-progression across all platforms. So, you could be at home playing it on your gaming PC. You could go down the street and play it at your friend's house on his PS5. You could go to your grandmother's house and play on her Xbox Series S. And it will all be cross-platform, all cross-progression, cross-platform. You can play on a high-end gaming PC at 4K, running at 120 hertz and no input delay, against someone playing on an Xbox Series S at 720p, 30 frames per second, massive input delay, and you can cheat and get instant chainsaw kills because they can't react to them. That's applause-worthy right there, baby. Let's do it. All right. Also, as an added bonus, fans who own the original version of Gears of War Ultimate Edition as of today only, you had to have owned it as of today, okay? We'll get a free upgrade, to Gears of War Reloaded. So if you bought Ultimate Edition last console gen, you own Gears of War Reloaded for free. All right? It's a celebration of one of gaming's most iconic franchises, 4K resolution, 120 frames per second support, the ultimate progression, cross-play, multiplayer experience. As we approach the 20th anniversary of Gears of War in 2026, we're reflecting on what the franchise means. It's about the stories we've told, the friendships we've built, and the unforgettable moments that we've shared together. And it actually shows right here, the original Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Gears of War Reloaded, and then if you zoom in right here, it won't let me. I'm trying to zoom in. They won't let me zoom in any further. Well, I wanted to zoom in incredibly high up there and see if it doesn't work. My joke didn't work. All right, anyway, so here you go. Built for brotherhood. There you go. Precision performance on every platform. So, 60 frames per second in campaign, 120 frames per second in multiplayer. Dolby Vision and 7.1.4 Dolby Atmos for the 2 people who have that. Very nice. Variable refresh rate supported. Very nice. So, here you go. Get it now. And I will, because it comes out August 26th. And I will be playing it on August 26th. So I'm going to add this. Here we go. 2 days before the Snake Eater remake, we'll be playing Gears of War. How exciting. Very cool, right? That's right, it has Horde mode. Remember, for those who don't remember, has Horde mode. That Horde mode literally is originated in Gears of War, and then Horde mode was literally copied and emulated in every single cooperative online game after. There was no Horde mode until Gears of War. Gears of War invented it. So, pretty cool, huh? That'll be fun. That'll be a fun summertime thing. And I'm glad that it's free. I'm glad that they're not forcing you to pay for it, but that it's going to be on Game Pass. Because if you had to pay for it, it'd be annoying. And also, if you already own the previous version, it's free. That's very nice of them. Hopefully, it's a fun summertime experience. By the way, let's check in on that Eco the Dolphin website again. Okay, that's absolutely fascinating. All right, moving on. I received a $2 tip. It's hilarious. It says this is from so and so, but don't read this. Okay, I won't. I won't read it. Thanks for a $2 tip, whoever, for the person who you know who you are, but doesn't want me to read it. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're now at $37 to support everybody. Let's keep that momentum rolling. All right. Can we? Let's keep that momentum rolling. Let's get another super chat besides Lynn, who was the first one of the day. Let's get our first gifted sub over on Kick. Let's get our first $50 locked in. Come on. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. I really want to hit 3 goals today so we can do the marathon tomorrow. It'll be perfect. All right? I mean it. So if you're here and you're chilling and you're like, good stuff, then please support. Okay. How's Cat and Jasper? Oh, they're good. Jasper was just in here, actually. But he didn't jump on the chair today, right? He was in here. Oh, he's on the floor. There he is. He's relaxing on the floor right there. He was in the window for a while, but then he jumped down. Now he's relaxing on the floor. He's sleeping. He's funny. He's all stretched out. Shout out to Ian, who has gifted a first membership of the day. Thank you to Ian for the gifted membership. It didn't get given to anybody yet, but it will. Don't worry. Thank you, Ian. Let's get you on the leaderboard. If you're wondering why it's taking so long to gift the membership, it's because idiots came in here over the last several days and gifted, I think it was like 400 to 500 fake memberships. So because of that, all the active viewers already have one. And, you know, it sucks, but what can you do? There you go. Al the Pal just got it. Congrats, Al the Pal. Thank you, Ian, for the support. Okay. Why do I want to do the marathon tomorrow if I'm going to be late? Because tomorrow I don't need to do a podcast because we're doing a marathon. Do you understand? Like, if I, on a normal day, just jumped in and said, okay, just gameplay, and we started at 1 p.m., let's say, and went till 4, it would feel weird because there's no podcast. But if we start 1 p.m. and we do a half an hour build up, get the show started, then we play 4 games over the course of the day. We got booze, we got food. It feels fine. You know, it would be perfect timing, and it would split the week perfectly in half. So now the next 3 days are all normal gameplay streaming days. And it actually would work out too because my wife wouldn't have to cook and she works tomorrow. So we'd just be able to order out some food. It would be absolutely, positively, perfectly aligned. So that's why we need to hit the 3 goals today so we can do the marathon tomorrow. Okay? There's no podcast tomorrow. I just told you guys. Okay. We have one more story to cover today. And it's not me refilling my water. We have one more story. Okay? You ready for this? Here we go. That was weird. Did you see that? Expedition 33 is doing incredibly well. Expedition 33, for those who don't know, Clear Obscure Expedition 33 is a game made by 30 game developers who used to all work for Ubisoft, but they got fed up with the way that Ubisoft ran things and decided to split off and make their own studio and do things for their own. The head developer said, hey, I've always wanted to make a Final Fantasy game. I just never got the opportunity. Let's just make our own Final Fantasy game. And so he basically tried to emulate and improve on elements of games like Final Fantasy X, Lost Odyssey, and others to make Clair Obscur. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Clair Obscur officially this morning became the highest rated game of all time on Metacritic, surpassing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Baldur's Gate 3. Now, of course, that can change, but people are freaking out that the game has received such high praise. Pretty amazing. But in addition to that, even more telling than this, okay, because this is just opinion, right? How about some facts? How about the fact that Clair Obscur, within 2 weeks of release, all right, has sold nearly 1 million copies. I believe they actually said they did exceed 1 million copies, but I guess this was the stat as of a certain date. Okay? On Steam, garnering $38 million of gross revenue. Pretty insane. Having over 1 million total players. Okay? While Assassin's Creed Shadows, the current new game from Ubisoft, only sold 580,000 copies. Okay? Of course, their gross revenue is higher. Why? Because they charged $80 for their game. Expedition 33 only charged $50. So they charged less. They sold way more. They've made more gross revenue. Oh, by the way, they're also on Game Pass. So whatever arrangement they have with Xbox/Microsoft, they're making money on that. Plus, they're outselling the company they all quit because they said, this company sucks ass. It's run poorly. We don't like where the games are going. We're going to split off and do our own thing. And they have thoroughly, utterly destroyed and trounced their own former employers. I mean, in every aspect of success, they have completely destroyed them. The reviews are better. People are playing it longer. People are buying it more. People are loving the game, every aspect of it, right? I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's out of control. And it's good. It's good news. You want to know why? Because I've had enough. I've had enough of these dumb-ass corporate bigwig morons who think they understand what gamers want. They don't play games. They don't know anything about the industry, but they were born rich. So they sit there in positions of power thinking that they're smarter than us because they were born with the silver spoon in their mouth and they went to Ivy League universities that their parents paid for. They literally were handed everything in their entire lives, but they act like they know something that we don't. They've never had a moment of actual stress or strife or having to actually earn anything. Instead, they just get thrown into success and they fail upwards. Every time that they fuck up, they're rewarded and they get promoted, right? Ubisoft, are you kidding me? Think about Ubisoft 10 to 15 years ago. They could do no wrong. They had Assassin's Creed. They had all of the Tom Clancy games. They had Far Cry, right? They had Rayman. I can keep going. There's probably like 12 to 15 franchises that Ubisoft all had that were absolutely amazing. Freaking Prince of Persia, right? I keep going. Well, guess what? Guess what? What do they have today? Today, they have to like bend over backwards to get people to even care about Assassin's Creed, and then it still sucks and underperforms and doesn't sell. Even after massive delays and say, hey, trust us, this isn't all about this. You know what I'm saying? Pretty ridiculous. They have completely lost their way. They are not in line with what gamers want. They don't listen. They just try to pump out products that are going to sell to raise money and capital for the shareholders and to line their own pockets instead of saying, let's make something creative. Let's make something fun. Let's make something noteworthy, something that stands out among the pack. Let's do something original, something memorable. So when people play this game, they will be like, remember that moment that was so amazing and different from everything else, and it resonates, and I'll remember that? Instead, they say, what's the most samey thing we can do that's safe that will sell? I played 9 hours of Assassin's Creed Shadows. There was not a single moment in the story, gameplay, graphics, or anything that I had not done in another game that I couldn't easily predict and that felt like a memorable, interesting moment. The entire 9 hours I played the game, I was bored to tears. The people in charge at Ubisoft have lost their way and don't understand what the whole purpose of developing a video game is. The makers of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 have rekindled the creative juices that are needed to make a truly unique, fun, and interesting gaming experience. They are showing the world that you don't have to be $5 zillion budget, 500,000 employees. You don't need insane marketing. You need none of that. What you need is talent and passion. The two things that AAA developers no longer have. Good on Clair Obscur Expedition 33 for doing so well. It is absolutely stacking up to be one of the best games of this entire generation. I'm loving it, and I can't wait to play more. Bravo. And if you haven't played Clair Obscur yet, what are you waiting for? It's one of the best looking, best playing, well-written, well-executed games of the last 10 years. Why are you sitting on it? I don't like turn-based RPGs. Well, start liking them, because they're good. Stop being a bitch. Stop it right now. See, this is you. I don't like turn-based RPGs. Stop it. Stop. Go play it. Stop skipping good games because it's not some big AAA. Oh, but there's no microtransactions in the game. So what? Oh, but there's no competitive multiplayer. Oh, I can't play it with my friends. Shut up. Go play it anyway. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. I'm being silly. But I'm telling you it's good. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of people are biased against this kind of game because it is a throwback to a turn-based era of RPGs. Today, everything has to be action button mashy, right? Everything has to be Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 16, Tales of whatever, mash, combo, action, mash, combo, action, big explosion, big explosion. That's not the end-all be-all of RPGs, even though, sadly, the big companies have, like, turned us into that, conditioned us to want that, I guess. Sometimes you could do something different that actually stands out. This game 1,000,000% stands out. I strongly recommend it. It's one of my favorite games I've played in a while. I can't wait to play more. And I hope that you will check out the playthrough and you'll check the game out for yourself. All right? If you don't, it's okay. I can't make you. But at the same time, I'm emphasizing, do yourself a favor and don't miss out on a game that's truly amazing because you have a bias against turn-based RPGs, and AAA studios have tried to tell you for the last 10 years that they suck. They don't. They're actually quite good. The problem is, when you're not button mashing 90% of the time, you actually have to entertain the gamer with other stuff, and that's the problem. These game developers and these modern studios don't know how to do it. They don't know how to entertain you. Because turn-based can be seen as, you got to be patient, it's a little boring. But if the game is done well, it's still entertaining. Instead of, at all moments, I must be inputting something. Like, that is literally Final Fantasy 16. Every moment, got to do this attack, into this combo, into this attack, into this ability, this charge, then this. That's not an RPG, man. It's not. That's like you did that to a kid with ADD. So they don't fucking bounce off the walls instead. That's what they made RPGs into. Like, what is this garbage? No, RPGs are supposed to be you think. You actually have to strategize and use your brain power instead of just mashing, tactile inputs. You have to think about what the hell you're doing. Really. So anyway, give it a look. I recommend it. Okay. I received a $2 tip Okay. That's it. I received a $2 tip. Thank you to the $2 tipper. I appreciate that. Guys, we're at 44 bucks of support. So we're almost 1/3 of the way there. Remember, the goal is to hit 3 goals by the end of today's streams so that we can do the marathon tomorrow. Please, let's get some more support going. Let's get our first gifted sub over on Kick. We have no subs on Kick. Let's get our first gifted sub. Now, in the meantime, while we wait for that to happen, let's see what's going on over on the Eco the Dolphin website. Looks pretty good. Okay, so we have a little bit of extra time. What I'd like to do is open up the show to Q&A. If you guys want to ask me something, tag me in the chat. I will do shout outs for all contributions. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. All right. All right. Nightman9 over on Kick says if an anonymous contributor contributes $400 right now, they'll cover the rest. So that's $3. There you go. Very nice. Yes, I played the original Gears of War. I owned it on Xbox 360. I played it and actually really liked it. I enjoyed Gears of War 1 very, very much back in the day, but that was before I was ever a YouTuber. If you remember, I covered Gears of War 2 in its entirety when it was a new release. It was one of the earlier games I covered. Did I pay my own tuition for college? Yes, it was a combination of partial scholarship that I received and me working my ass off. I had a full-time job while I was in college. I was working at Circuit City, and I was making big money, and that money was going towards my tuition. Then after that, where else did I work? Geez, I worked a few different places when I was in college. Man, it's hard to remember. First I was still working the fast food place. Then I was working at Circuit City for over a year. It was like a year and a half I worked at Circuit City during college. I had a third job, but what was it? Can't remember. I also worked an unpaid internship when I was in college that went absolutely nowhere. It was a complete waste of my time. So I put myself through college for the portion that I had to pay. I did have a partial scholarship based on my academics and my merit, but then I did pay for most of it or the rest of it myself, okay? Yes, I went to wild college parties, my own. I ran them, but that's for another day. We're not going to talk about college partying today. Sorry. If Clear Obscure was made by an Italian studio, would I have given it a better score? Yes, because we all know that the French, sadly, you know, those those wine swilling, cheese guzzling, armpit smelling, striped shirt wearing, beret wearing, mime invisible box pushing, croissant stuffing, French bread munching, marvelous people. They deserve all the credit in the world. I don't know what you're talking about. How dare you say something negative about the French? How could you? What a horrible thing to say. Wow. Why would you say that? Mm, yeah. Really? Cup of Barack Obama says The Last of Us TV series has lost 48% of its audience. You were right. The show is going to flop. Now, when you say that, are you saying that's season 2 lost 48% of the audience of season 1? Is that what you're saying? I wouldn't be shocked. And then they already announced season 3, but I bet season 3 will be even worse. I'm telling you, season 1 worked because season 1 is a good story, even though they fucked with it, is still overall a good story. Season 2 is a bad story because The Last of Us 2 is also a bad story. It's not entertaining. It's not fun. It's torture porn. And the fact that they got an actress to play Ellie who literally couldn't look older between the two series because her body is essentially not well developed. It's just not her fault. she's just gonna kind of be that shape and look like a girl for the rest of her life. That happens to certain people. I don't know what it is, but it just happens, right? So with Ellie, she grew up from Last of Us 1 to 2. In the first game, she's a girl. In the second game, she's an adult. She still has the face of a child, but she's grown up. She has an adult body. Ellie literally is exactly the same in season 1 and season 2 of Last of Us, the show. It's not believable that a tiny girl with the girl of a body of a 12-year-old is going to go around mass murdering people to avenge Joel. It makes no sense at all. It's completely stupid. So when they cast the show, they were completely fucking idiotic and didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They should have actually cast a young girl to play Ellie in the first season so that she could grow up and then she could actually become adult Ellie in season 2. But they're not that smart. And let's face it, no one involved with anything Neil Druckmann is very smart. So there you go. Is there a French Street Fighter character? Mono. Mono is French. Mm-hmm. I'm getting asked the most random questions. What's my opinion on the viral 100 men versus 1 gorilla debate? It's stupid. No one should care. It's dumb. Did I hear about a French man who found $4 billion of gold in his yard and the government took it all? No, not until right now when you just said it in chat. Have I ever seen a ghost? No. What's going on, Game Boy? Good to see you. How are you doing, Game Boy? What's my opinion on the French? They're fine people. You know the truth? I've never had authentic, good French food. I would like to try it. I've heard good things about actual, like, high-end French food. I've never had an opportunity to try it. When I first moved here, there was a French restaurant, and I went there, but what I didn't realize, it wasn't authentic. It was French fusion. So, for example, they had a pizza that had the ingredients like Gruyere cheese on a pizza. Who the fuck would want to eat Gruyere cheese on a pizza? So I tried a few things. I thought it was disgusting. I hated it. And then guess what? Within a year, the restaurant actually went out of business. Okay. Since then, I haven't had any French food. There's no French restaurants here. So I would love to have authentic French cuisine at some point. Blacky Cat says, I think Expedition 33 might actually sell better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Crazy world we're living in. It will. It won't. Well, not Rebirth. Wait, hold on. See, here's the problem. Rebirth, I have the stats, actually. You ready? They're here. I actually have it. Here you go. Here we go. Sadly, Rebirth just sold a lot more simply because it's Rebirth. It's Final Fantasy VII. Actually, what ended up happening was sales tanked after this. This was all essentially based on pre-orders and that first wave of sales. But after that, the game tanked and didn't sell that well at all, and Square Enix got really upset. What happened with Expedition 33 is that it's increasing in sales right now. It's actually selling more and more because it's actually getting legs. This game lost all its hype and stopped getting talked about within about a week. This game, within 2 weeks, has gotten tons of hype, and everyone is telling everyone else to play it, and it's gaining more sales. Okay? There you go. So over time, perhaps it'll do better. We'll have to see. Excuse me. Whoa! I just received an insanely generous $50 tip. $50. 50 simoleons, 50 smackaroos, 50 pesos. Well, actually, it's more like 50,000 pesos. 5 zillion billion yen, 50 rubles. From an anonymous tipper who says, I'm here to support Blueprints today. Thank you so much for the stream. You are welcome. I'm excited for Blueprints today. We're going to make massive progress in the game today for sure. It's happening. Okay. So Blueprints Ho, thank you so much, Aiden Anonymous, $50 tip. That jumps us all the way up to 94 bucks to support. So guys, here's what we're gonna do. Right now, we're gonna hit the goal. Let's do it. Because if we hit the goal right now, that means 1 down, 2 to go for today. That means for the rest of the entire gameplay of Blueprints, we got 1 more goal to hit. And then tonight for the indie stream, we got 1 more goal to hit. We can do the marathon tomorrow. We are now in prime position due to this contribution to get all the goals hit today that we need to hit for the marathon tomorrow. Let's do it. Let's get support right now. Someone drop some subs on Kick. Let's get some super chats. Let's get a tip or some membership. Let's all work together right now. Let's rally and let's hit goal number 1 right now. All right. My chat is not working on Kick. Uh-oh. Is Kick having issues again? I hope not. Okay, I was able to reload it. Good. Do I like tempura? I do. I like tempura shrimp and other like tempura vegetables. Delicious. I love tempura because even though it's fried, it's actually a lighter, crispier consistency and taste. I think that tempura batter tastes better than 90% of fried coatings that they put on stuff. I always prefer more, like, for example, I like a beer batter. I like a tempura batter. I like that better than traditional fried batter, usually. Lamont wants a Wings collab. Lamont, if during the time period when I wanted to have Wings on this show last year, he kept saying he wanted to be on, but then every time that I asked him when, he would ignore me. Do you really think it's worth it to reach out to him again? I mean, be honest. Do you think so? What do you think? You guys think I should try to have Wings in my content, do an interview with him or something? Oh, Ian, thank you. I screwed it up. The top tip is anonymous, not Ian. My fault. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate that. I mixed up. Thank you for the correction. Thank you, Ian. Good eye. All I could do is try to reach out to him, and he's probably not going to respond. Seriously. I guarantee he's probably not going to respond again. But I could try. I could try to reach out to the guy and see if he'll respond this time. Well, keep in mind, one of the plans, or not or the plans, but one of the ideas we've had this year is a variety show, right? We don't know what it's going to be yet. We don't exactly know the format. We don't know the frequency. We don't know what I would call it, okay? But we'd have to figure out exactly what to do. And one of the things I would like to do is possibly have guests on. Perhaps Wings could be a guest on that show, right? Maybe be like a first exciting guest, Wings of Redemption, on this new show that I'm doing, the variety show. I don't know. Steve McMichael did a $10 super chat and he says, over the weekend, a YouTuber released a video showing Mudahar is involved in snaking YouTubers he thinks are beneath him and sabotaging them. In your chats with Muda, do you think he was planning that? No. I think what happened with Mudahar, quite frankly, was that he did realize that all the hate thrown against me is kind of illegitimate, but I think he had a second thoughts about doing something with the casino. I'm serious. Because we had a private conversation behind the scenes, and he was totally cool with me. He was like, yeah, I'd have a conversation with you. We could hang out. We could play this game with the casino, whatever you want to do. Sounds good to me. And then all of a sudden, he deletes his entire social media, and the casino kept trying to contact him, and he ghosted them completely. So you tell me, right? I think what it is that he realized that if he associated with the casino, that it was going to be something toxic to him because the casino has a bad rep, you know, with the stuff that they've done in the past and everything. So at first he was all gung-ho, and then he basically had like cold feet, and he backed completely out. But I don't think that has anything to do with him super snaking, or I don't think that was it was his master plan to super snake DSP in the casino. No, I don't believe that. No, I don't think so. Why don't I do something with him now? I have no way to contact him. Like, the only way that I would had to talk to him would have been via, like, XDMs. He closed his X account entirely. And he said, oh, you want to contact me? Go to Reddit. I've never been on Reddit. I'm never going to go to Reddit. I'm not going to try to talk to this guy on fucking Reddit. If I had a private line to him, a way to contact him and talk to him, I would. But I don't have a way to do that. Oh, he made a new X account? Did he really? I wouldn't know. I don't follow this crap. So I wouldn't even know that. I don't follow any of this crap. NJZ, we're not doing any Legos anymore. I told you that the Legos were good for when they lasted. Interest waned. The last time that we did this last week, we didn't hit our goal. And people were saying, oh, it's boring. So we stopped doing Legos. Right? We may bring them back in the future. But I would like my plan was to maybe do the Mario Kart Lego this month. But I'm not going to spend $170 on a Lego set when we can't raise a goal on a stream. So we're done with Legos for now. All right. Any other last stuff, guys? By the way, come on. We're right in position to hit the goal. We're at 104. Let's hit the goal right now. Seriously, let's hit it right now. Then I'll end the show and we'll get into blueprints and we can focus on blueprints and hopefully getting a goal during that rather than doing 2 goals during that. We're in perfect position right now. Who's going to help me hit this first goal? So we only have 2 to go to do our marathon tomorrow. Let's do it. Jasper's in the closet again. All right. I guess we're not going to do it. All right, guys, let's end the show. Thank you for a great show. I hope you enjoyed all the news. Oh, wait, hold on. One final thing. I almost forgot. Let's see how the Eco the Dolphin website is doing. It's doing pretty good. Okay. Thank you guys for watching the Level 1 podcast. Tomorrow, there will not be a show. I repeat, on Tuesday, no matter what we're doing on Tuesday, there will not be a podcast, okay? I'll be starting later tomorrow, and it'll either be pure gameplay or it'll be doing the Viewer's Choice Marathon. The podcast will return on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we will cover everything that went down. We will cover gaming news and more. So thank you all very, very much. I appreciate you. Thanks for a great show. And I will see you all on Wednesday for the second half of the week here on the Level 1 podcast.